Hi learners, welcome to Virtual Computer School channel. In this video lecturing, we are going to discuss about components of database management system, or otherwise called as database management system architecture. So in this diagram, as you see on the slide, in this diagram, there are no main components of database management systems are given. We can see here DDL statement and then DDL compiler, query compiler, query optimizer, DML compiler, and then pre-compiler, host language compiler. Okay, then runtime database processor, right? So then stored database system catalog. So these all things we consider as the main components of database management system. As we studied in the general definition for database management system, the database management system is a collection of programs, or otherwise called as a software, which is mainly used for creating, storing and retrieving and all sort of manipulations with the data. Okay, so maybe you can create a database and you can create number of table, and you can store, retrieve, and then you can modify, you can do anything, all sort of manipulations with the databases. For that, we need a set of software. Okay, so that you can see on the in the diagram, right? So now we'll just talk about the architecture wise. When you just look at this diagram, you can see there are two portions are given. So here in this first portion, the top portion on the top layer, you can see the users, starting with the users, and then the other the next level there are some commands, how the users are interacting with your database management system, and then next to that you have the compilers. Okay, so maybe you can just understand from the given queries and up to the compiler, you can just consider as one layer. And after the compilation process, then the all the compiled code will be forwarded to the runtime database processor, and where the runtime database processor will be executing your all your queries. Okay, so that is interacting with your stored database, right? So in this way, just you can make into two portions. It will be easy for you to understand, right? So now let's start with the the based on the users, we'll just describe the architecture. You can, as you can see in the diagram, the users, there are four different type of users are given. Okay, so generally in the any database management system architecture, there are four different users will be there. Okay, so this diagram actually shows you a very general database management system architecture. Okay, so here in the database administrator, DBA staff, the first one is DBA staff. In the DBA staff, database administrator, DBA stands for database administrator. The administrator will have the highest privilege in the database management system. In the sense, he can do all sort of administration work. Okay, so administration in the sense, all sort of management, everything he can perform in this particular database management system. Okay, then here you have the casual users and application programmers and parametric users. Okay, so here you can see the casual users will be using some interactive based queries, and then application programmers will be using through the application program, they'll be interacting with the database management system. And there is another category of user, parametric users. Okay, so now we'll see one by one now. Here database management, DBA, database administrator staff, as I said, he'll be having more privileges. Okay, so he'll be using DDL statement, that is data definition language statement. See, we already discussed about what is DDL. It is a set of SQL commands or SQL statement mainly meant for definition purpose. Okay, so you can create a table and you can create a schema, and then you can suppose if you want to do any alteration or modification, you can do, right? So all sort of definition related manipulations you can do with the help of the DDL commands. Okay, so here the database administrator will be having the other privileged commands also. Okay, suppose if the database administrator wants to add some new users. Okay, so any new people want to interact with the database or use the databases, and setting the privileges. Okay, setting the accessibility of each and every database that is available in the particular database management system. Okay, so those type of privilege thing will be done only with the uh, database administrator. Okay, so here the privilege commands, maybe the database administrator will be able to add new users, or suppose if he wants to remove any existing user, that is also can be done by the database administrator staff. Okay, so then next to this casual users, the casual users will be using the interactive based query. Okay, he'll be using some interactive user interfaces to send the query, right? So all SQL statement he'll be sending through the some interactive user interfaces. Okay, then application programmer, generally we used to create application with different languages, maybe Python or Java or any C++. Okay, so for that matter, any particular language you can use for developing your application. When you are developing the application, you'll be including your database accessibility code also. Okay, so you'll be including especially data manipulation commands. Okay, data manipulation commands like select, insert. Okay, so update, those type of statement you'll be using here, right? See, then you'll be having the parametric users, right? Parametric users will be using the query just like passing some parameter values. Okay, so the queries will be there. It is like filling up the form. Okay, so in the filling up the form, just you will be feeding some data and you will be submitting, right? So in the same manner, the parametric users will be using the just passing the parameter values, okay, in the queries. So now in the casual users, they'll be using the interactive user interface, and this from the interactive interface, it will be forwarded to the query compiler for the compilation process. Okay, and again this will be forwarded again to the query optimizer, right? You know what you mean by compiler. The compiler will convert into object code. Okay, so whatever the query is forwarded by the casual user, that will be converted into object code, something like similar to your C and C++ code. Okay, and this query object code will be converted into query optimizer. There is a optimization is there. In the optimization, there will be different plan and different alternatives will be prepared by the database management system, and based on the conditions, the best plan will be selected. Okay, so optimization is nothing but improvising. Okay, so whatever the query we are getting, that query should be improvised before it is going for execution. Okay, so that particular improvisation process will be done by the query optimizer. So we will be studying about query optimization, and in the query optimization there will be two main important methods we are going to discuss. Okay, so heuristic query optimization and cost query optimization method, right? So there will be different strategies and different plans will be used in the query optimization. Among the different plan, best plan will be selected for executing the query, right? Then coming to the application programmer, the application programming, you will be writing your code inside your any application programming language. Okay, so here the pre-compiler. So what is the need of the pre-compiler? The pre-compiler will extract the SQL statement from the application program, and it will be sending to the DML compiler. Okay, and then the remaining whatever the code or whatever the host language program is there, so those things will be executed or compiled by the host language compiler. Okay, for example, if you are writing a Java code, inside the Java code, if you have included any SQL commands, those SQL commands will be extracted by the pre-compiler. Those SQL commands will be compiled by the DML compiler, and exact Java code will be executed by the host language, for example, Java compiler. Okay, so here the Java compiler will compile the remaining Java code, and it will be forwarded to the compile transaction. Right. So then here the parametric users, you have this parametric user, as I said, they'll be just feeding the values to the parameters, right? here, sorry, you can see here the after the compilation of the transaction. So everything we are coming into this point, and it is now ready for the runtime database processor. Okay, it is ready for the execution, right? Then this execution will, after the compilation that whatever the code has generated, that will be will be executed with the help of the runtime database processor. Okay, so then you have the system catalog or data dictionary. So now what is the role of system catalog or data dictionary? So here whenever you are creating any new table or any databases, the entire information about the database or the table has to be collected and will be stored in the system catalog, okay, or otherwise called as a data dictionary, right? So here the schema is a description about your structure of your database, right? It describes your structure of your database, right? So here in the description, mostly what is the attribute name you are using, what is the data type you are using, what is the length of the data type or the particular field, right? So all those details will be saved here. Whenever the particular table or particular database is processed by the database management system, that will be referred. Okay, whether the query as well as your entire the whatever the command you are giving, so that is actually matching with the already given system catalog details. Okay, for example, if you create a table, student table, so the student table schema and then the other details will be saved in the system catalog. And suppose if you are sending any query for accessing your student table, and the schema will be checked. Okay, so based on that, that now the particular query will be executed, right? So the schema will be checked mainly in the query optimizer or else in the query compilation time. Okay, then even during the runtime, it is just checking whether all the schema and the other details are matching. Okay, then here the stored data manager is there. The stored data manager, it is actually helping us to work in a particular underlying operating system. Okay, for example, if you're using Windows or any other operating system, and based on that, you'll be using this stored manager for IO operations, that is input and output operations. Okay, then you have the concurrency control, backup, recovery, and subsystems. So this concurrency control, backup, recovery, and subsystem is mainly used during the transactions, database transactions. Okay, so we have the compiled transaction also. So especially you'll be using the during the transaction time, we'll be applying the concurrency control, backup, recovery, and subsystem. We have discussed in the this particular topic in other video, right? So what is a concurrency control, what is a backup, and what is a recovery subsystem? Concurrency control, generally, if you're one or more transactions are trying to access the same data item, then you are going to restrict that. Okay, so that we have discussed in the other video. Then the stored database is the actual place where you are going to save your database in the form of tables. Okay, all your data, everything will be saved in the form of table and databases, right? So this is what we generally discuss about the database management system architecture, and maybe we just will discuss the same point again. These are the explanation given for the components of database management system. The database administrator staff works on defining the database and tuning it by making changes to its definition using the DDL and other privileged commands that we said already. And then casual users who work with interactive interfaces to formulate queries. So all user interactive interfaces will be using to interact with your database management system. And application programmers who create programs using some host programming languages, that is what C, C++, or Java, Python, or any other application programming language if you are using, right? Then parametric users will be a kind of data entry work, will be just supplying the values to the parameters, right? And then we said about what is a DDL compiler. The DDL compiler is actually processing the schema definitions specified in the DDL, that is data definition language. and stores descriptions of the schema in the database management system catalog. Okay, it is actually getting the schema details from the DDL command, and it is just storing into the catalog. Okay, the system DBMS catalog. And then at the same time, what are the DDL commands are given? Those DDL commands will be compiled by the DDL compiler, will be generated as a object code. Okay, then query compiler, generally the query compiler, what it will do, it is interactive queries are parsed and validated. So there are the certain steps we use during the compilation process. Okay, that is parsing, validation, scanning, right? So everything will perform, right? Query processing, query optimization. So there are different stages are there that we'll elaborately discuss in query optimization. Okay, so we are going to discuss about query optimization. There we have different steps, right? So there we are going to elaborate in more detail. And maybe the query compiler that compiles them into an internal form. So it is internal form in the sense it is a object code form. Okay. Then what is the use of the pre-compiler in the DBMS architecture? It is actually application programs, as I said already. So whatever the application program you're using, like Java, C, C++, or Python, or whatever, and it is actually sent to the pre-compiler. The pre-compiler, it extracts the DML commands. That's what I told you during the previous discussion. It is actually going to extract the DML commands from an application program written in host programming language. Okay. Then what about the DML compiler? The data manipulation language. DML is data manipulation language, and DML commands are sent to the DML compiler for compilation into object code. Okay. The primary job of the compiler is getting the source language code and converting it to object code. That is what happening here also. It is just getting the DML commands as input, and it is going to generate the object code. Okay. So what about the host language compiler? The host language compiler, host language in the sense what? In which language you are writing your program. Okay. So the rest of the program which is extracted from pre-compiler is sent to the host language compiler. Suppose if you use Java code, and the Java compiler will do this process. And we said about what is a query optimizer. That is, it is actually it is a rearrangement and possible reordering of operations. That is, when you write any query, the same query, the same sequence will not be followed in the database management system. The database management system will arrange your query in an efficient manner. Okay, it will do some small alteration so that the query can be executed quickly. Right. So that particular process we call as query optimizer. That is elimination of redundancies and use of correct algorithms and indexes during execution. Okay, so it is actually the query optimizer is trying to reduce your query into a which you can execute it smartly and quickly. Okay, so it consults the system catalog for statistical and other physical information. So whenever the query optimization is done, it is just going to get the details from your system catalog or the data dictionary for just for references. Okay, so the runtime database processor is the another important component in the database management system. This object code, whatever the object code is been produced by the compiler, will be forwarded to the runtime database processor. Here the object code for the DML commands and the rest of the program are linked. Okay, forming a scan transaction whose executable code includes calls to the runtime database processor. So whatever the object code has been generated by the query compiler as well as the query optimizer, so that will be forwarded to the runtime database processor. This is actually the execution unit. Okay, so whatever the query you have given, so all the queries will be executed here. Okay, and this about the system catalog or data dictionary. As we said, the system catalog is mainly used to store your schema related details. Okay, that is a description of your table. Okay, so what is the name of your file, or what is the name of your database or table you have created, and what are the data types you have created. Okay, so how you are going to store, right? So each file and mapping among information among schemas. So everything will be stored in the data dictionary, right? So in addition, the catalog stores many other types of information that needed by the database management system modules. So that is why this system catalog or the data dictionary will be referred in each and every stage of your query processing. Okay, so during the compilation, during the query optimization, during the execution of your query, and during your storage of your query. Okay, so all the time this particular schema details will be verified. Okay, so here, as I said, the stored data manager, which runs in basic operating system, and it is carrying out the low level input and output operation between the disk and main memory. So generally the IO operations that happens between your hard disk and then main memory will be taken care by the stored data manager. Okay, then here the concurrency control, as I said, they are integrated into the working of the runtime database processor for purpose of transaction management. Okay, so concurrency and then backup recovery, these functionalities are mainly used during the transaction. Okay, database transaction. And about the stored database, it is the storing database in the disk. That is exactly where you are going to store the entire database and then entire table and then entire data. Okay, so exact data will be stored in the database. Okay, so that is what about the database management system architecture. And then so what are the important components are available. Okay, thank you. Hi learners, please subscribe to my channel and also press bell icon for latest video updates. Please do not forget to like, comment and share. Thank you.